fire station. I can't remember, what, 6 months ago. We asked them to pause for a second. They were in the process of moving forward with the new fire station. We asked them to pause for a second. They very graciously agreed and have been very patiently waiting for the past few months for us to kind of get our act together and figure things out. They're asking for us to rescind that request, and there's no formal action item that needs to be done, but if the board members are okay with it, we will have Dawn send a letter saying we are formally rescinding that request and move forward. Go for it. Have fun. Is everybody okay with that? Sounds good. Any other citizens' general comments and questions? Just one. Come on. Get us going a little time.
I just had one question about this new business about we were talking about 19 to 2 people voted for something about in Lawrence. I don't know. I'm just curious where that information came from, because I talked to a lot of people in Lawrence, and were people in Lawrence invited to this discussion, or like where do those numbers come from? I was just curious.
Yeah. It was a meeting that the residents of Lawrence had, and Pastor Jim was not able to make it. He was in the hospital, and I ended up sharing that and just bringing some issues up to the residents that Tommy and I had agreed to assist with getting a hold of certain persons from Lawrence through the municipal authority.
Okay, so I was just curious if all the residents of Lawrence were invited to attend this meeting, or if it was a subset of residents. I'm just trying to make sure that if people are voting on things that are then coming before the board, that all the residents of Lawrence were informed about this community meeting.
As best as we could. I think there were advertising that was done at the post office, so typically anyone that gets their mail at the post office would have seen it, and then some flyers were put around the neighborhoods.
But not to all the residents.
I'm not certain. I didn't.
We're on social media advertising.
I didn't count, and I've been off social media for a while now.
Okay. I was just curious. All I'm saying is that meeting, it's possible that there were residents of Lawrence that were not aware of that meeting who were unable to attend. So I would just say, if you're having community meetings, to consider, because I have friends in Lawrence and they never say anything to me. Most of the time they tell me about things like that and ask if they should go or not. So I'm just making a point that it sounds like it was not anything I had heard of or been aware of. So I'm just curious that if we're going to have community meetings and advertise and call them as such, that all members of the community are informed about them.
I also have a quick question, though. You said that you and Tom were asked to do what for the municipal authority?
Tom, are you still on the phone? Do you want to address it? So there were maybe 60 persons that it was brought up at the municipal authority meeting that they didn't have agreements from. So knowing a bunch of people in that community, our attempt was to get those people to call, and this may be even a good commercial break, call the 724-746-4848 and speak with Greg Januso or Walt Lushinsky and get it to the next level and see what they were missing or what was lacking as far as the 60 residents that were missing at that meeting.
Well, hold on a second, because I actually asked somebody from the municipal authority if anybody from this board or anybody from the municipal authority was directed to hold that meeting, and it was an absolute no. So okay. I'm wondering... This
was held by the residents, so it was not set up. And the supervisors were invited just to hear, as well as the municipal authority, but they didn't vote at their last meeting to go to the meeting, so they didn't show up, they weren't present. So this is just simply a meeting for the residents.
No, but that's... okay, so just...
You have your opinion, but that was why it was set up.
Erica, it's not an opinion. The fact is you held a meeting in Lawrence where you led it, you didn't invite all the community, and you put yourself...
Who said I didn't invite all the community?
You people that I know.
We don't know. Yeah, if they saw a flyer at the post office, they were invited. If they got a flyer at their door, they were invited. I reached out by telephone. There were a number of numbers that were not located or incorrect numbers through my efforts to try and get these people to call the municipal authority.
But my point,
So
Eric...
about 300 residents, 21 showed up.
But my point, Eric, is specifically asked by a member of the municipal authority.
Yeah, if you listen to the meeting, and Tom and I said that we would assist, and he says, okay. Is that correct, Tom? Did you lose him?
Yeah.
So it was at the last month's municipal authority meeting that we attended.
But Eric, again, I asked multiple members of the municipal authority, and they said that we were not asked to intervene.
The public was having a meeting, and I simply went to coordinate the efforts of the meeting and to keep peace, because Jim O'Brien ended up and wasn't able to attend.
Who's Jim O'Brien?
Pastor Jim O'Brien,
Oh, Pastor.
a leader in the community.
But you said you called, but what about the people who didn't see the flyer?
So Tom was making calls, I made some calls, and we got hold of people, and we got a lot of things corrected. They had 49 when the house address was 43. They had a wrong number and didn't have the number of the person's, their phone number. So we had 3 at the meeting that were, that needed to call right away, or else they were gonna get put on another list. And it was just a simple information they had to get back to the municipal authority. So it worked out well, I believe.
I think you have to be cautious putting yourself in a position where you're advocating for or against.
No, I'm looking out for the residents, and that's it, taking care of my people, our people.
Well, first off, you should absolutely be aware there's no money to do a stormwater project. We got 2 landslides we got fixed yet. We got to put in 2 bridges this year.
That's right. We have an
Money's just
investigator.
not there. If you want to do stormwater management, you tell these people right now, they're going to get a tax increase.
The other was 20 to 1 that the municipal authority, the residents desire to have a meeting within a couple of months with the municipal authority. So that was just one other item that was voted on, or that the public would like to see an official meeting from the municipal authority with the residents of Lawrence.
I'm not a mathematician, but I can tell you that 20 people out of 60 that they owe, or out of the hundreds that are in Lawrence, are not a fair population sample.
Okay.
So I appreciate the
I
effort.
understand. Well, we did our best, and I believe we got those that we're going to call the municipal authority. We have how many residents? 12,800, and this is how many we have showed up. Is this a good representation of Cecil Township?
But I didn't ask anybody to raise their hand.
Okay. Very well. You're entitled to your opinion.
If there's no more questions or...
Oh, there is.
Oh, sorry.